Question Lane. Solving problems through the process of questions and answers.
Another concept that I'm really interested in nowadays is jury nullification. I ran across this concept by watching an old clip on YouTube of Paul Butler. He's a professor at Georgetown.
Yeah, I know Paul Butler.
Yeah, he had a very interesting concept of how we could counter this type of system when we're dealing with the law. What is your opinion on that, and you think that's something that black people should work on?
Well, here's the problem. Many black people don't even want to serve on juries. So to get them to understand the concept of jury nullification would mean that they would have to be educated on the rule of law and what's going on in these courtrooms. Most people are not aware of what's going on in these courtrooms unless there's some sensational case or it's a personal experience. So I have no problem with that, but you need to educate people after that. And right now we're not educated on the legal system and what happens in those courtrooms. To even think about why you would not, what jury nullification is, you literally would have to be aware and educated as to what are the issues in the criminal justice system and how they're playing out in these courtrooms. But it has to be an educational process.
Well, when we look at a lot of cases that occur across the country, I'm in Florida, you're in New York. Every day there's people getting shot across the country, and if the perpetrator of these crimes are brought up on charges, for some reason, if they're black, if the victim is black and the perpetrator is white, there's a high likelihood that the person gets off. Do you think that white people on these juries are practicing jury nullification without thinking about it, or what would you call that type of phenomenon?
No, that's called racism playing itself out in our legal system. Yeah, they're aware of what they're doing. They're absolutely aware. I don't think they're doing what they're doing unconsciously. I think they, as white Americans, understand their position in this white supremacy space that we're in, and they also understand that in the legal system is one of the areas that reinforces their racism, and they do that, and they there's nothing that holds them accountable.
And talking about the law and white people, there's a word that's always used in law to kind of denote justice or equality, and that word is fair. Do you find a problem with using that word as a lawyer? And if so, why?
I don't have a problem with it, but the use of the word is subjective. Usually the person who's deciding what's fair or not is the person in charge and in power. And most of the time, the person in power is not concerned about what's happening systemically to black people. So when people start talking about fairness, you got to start paying attention to who's doing the talking and what role do they play in the system.
And I bring up the word fair because fair has multiple meanings. People use it in the context of law, and people also use it in the context of being light or pale.
Yeah.
So it's one of those words.
Different people with different meanings to different people.
So another thing that I want to ask you about, workplace racism. So a lot of people who go to work, they may have issues and they don't know how to solve their issues. What are some suggestions would you have for people to not only be productive on their jobs, but to help them solve problems when they arise?
Well, you got to think wisely. I think if you're at work and you're experiencing inequity due to racism, I think you should keep a journal to record and memorialize all the inequities that you're dealing with. And I think you should seek counsel an employment discrimination lawyer who has experiences with dealing with those types of cases, and sit down with them so that you'll be aware of what's owed to you, and what EOC things that you can do, and how to hold these people accountable. But first you got to start recording it, memorializing what's happening, and then you got to seek legal counsel.
Journaling is definitely something I agree with. Perfect. Something else that I would suggest, and I want to see what you have to say about this. What about before someone gets hired, read the employee handbook, the corporate manual, etc., front and back, and to ask any questions before a person starts the job so that they know exactly what's expected of them from the beginning to the end. What is your thought process on that?
That's called being educated and well-informed. You can never go wrong with that. That's something that we all should become accustomed to doing.
Yeah, I'm asking because I've never in my life heard anybody talk about a employee handbook or reading the corporate manual when you start a new job. That's just something that I've never heard of.
Yeah, you should. You know, most corporations, all of them have them. You should be aware of what's there.
Thank you.
You can't be just happy to be there. You got to know at least the lay of the land.
Yeah, because a lot of what I'm getting at now with staying calm, asking questions, journaling, reading the employee handbook, etc., it's about being ahead of these problems so that you're prepared to deal with them as they come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay up to date for more videos by clicking the bell notification icon and following our social media. For any of the people, groups, companies, or videos that were referenced in this video, don't forget to check the description and or the pinned comment section. The question lane, solving problems through the process of questions and answers.